Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Silent Podcast, the place where everything but silent. I'm your host, Isaiah, and we're back with Big Brother 25 to talk about this crazy, chaotic week. You know what I'm saying? Definitely W's. I'm back home. I got my AC working. It's lit. It's live. But we're here. We're here to talk about this crazy week, the good, the bad, and definitely the ugly. So I'm here with my co-host as usual, Josie. Josie, what's going on?
It feels like I've been watching feeds for 30 days, not a week. Well, technically like 10 days, less than 10 days. It hasn't felt like that. And we've been covering it here with like feed bites, but I'm excited to talk about the actual episodes and really addressing the edit that happened on Thursday. So I'm happy and excited to get into it because I feel like we're gonna have a really good conversation about it.
All right, and we also got Cheyenne. Cheyenne new. Cheyenne, what's going on with you?
Hey y'all, I have just messed up my audio again, but I'm so happy to be here. Very exciting week. I haven't had this much fun since BB17 and the fingering incident. Honestly, it's been a great ride.
I'm
Oh my
dead.
god.
If you haven't checked out Cheyenne's tweet, she literally said, "I'm so excited to talk about hashtag BB15." I thought that was a little funny. But yeah, you listen. We're here. If you haven't already, obviously, first and foremost, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure you're checking out every week. And if you want to join us in our Discord and Patreon, is linked in the bio, and in the description. So make sure you check that out. Shout out to the few people who donated already. If you haven't been here, we have Josie and Katie. Katie's not here with us tonight, but they've been doing live feed updates. So if you want to hear what's been going through the week, you can watch those. But it's been a while. It's this is a week that has a lot of ups and downs, right? I think it started out honestly in somewhat ended very chaotically in the game way, in the entertainment stance. That's perfectly fine for me. I think this cast is very different. It's not the stereotypical cast that you usually get, but the problem is, yeah, we might as well rip the band-aid off of the wound. The Luke situation. Luke,
Mm.
used, you said that word, not good. He went out and he got removed from the game. I don't know if anyone's seen his Instagram, but he posted some cheese. Definitely not good. But it was a problem. But how are we feeling about this whole situation as a whole?
I mean, I'll let Tyann go first. How do you feel?
Oops, Cheyenne, I think she's fixing her audio.
Okay.
You go first. You go first.
Yeah. Honestly, I when it happened on live feeds, it happened at 4 a.m. So I wasn't awake. So I woke up to the news, like a bunch of people saying, like, he said the N-word. And so I immediately had to check for myself. And so in the circumstance that was said and how the whole situation itself was kind of a little bit mind-boggling. But I was glad that CBS stuck to their guns and what they said for season some stars, which is like if someone's going to use a racial slur, it doesn't respect the BB conduct, and they're going to get removed. And so I was glad to see that. But I'm like, if you're going to condemn someone, go the full way. Like, don't be lukewarm about it. Like, be about it or don't be about it. Like, I personally just hate the middle shit. Like, kind of trying to cater to everyone. And I think the edit is the reason why I was really upset. And when I first watched it, I needed a bit of time to process it because I was like, what? And I think what pissed me off is that they put the scene of Luke and Kirsten talking together. And he was just like, I don't know what the point of that was. It had nothing to do with the game or nothing to do with the situation that they needed to address. And to me, it felt like they were trying to garner sympathy, like make it a stepping stone so that people could feel less like bad towards him. And obviously we see the scene happen and we see how Jared addresses it. And we see his DR, which is a whole other conversation. And so I just felt like CBS weirdly was trying to like get us to sympathize with Luke and kind of using Jared as a way to be like, it's okay if you're not saying it in a malicious way. Like, no, the slur is malicious in its origin and its use. And so regardless of how you're using it, whether you're using it to insult someone or if you're trying to call someone your G, which what? If you're non-black, you shouldn't be saying it because it is a malicious term regardless of its use. So I just thought that I was excited and I was happy about how it was, how he got kicked out. I just hated the edit. Like, to me, it's like you took 3 steps forward and took 5 steps back. Like, I would have rather them like just like put a like black screen and say Luke got removed because he said the N-word. And I would have been like, okay. I would have rather that over like some empathy edit. Like, no.
How about you, Cheyenne?
I had to refresh. Please let me know what are we talking about? Like
So
just the
basically, how'd
Luke
you feel
incident
about
or like
everything in general?
honestly, I am not too I don't have too many feelings to be honest. I think
Mm,
the major thing that I felt was that people should not act as if or I just saw so much like towards Jared that I was like, first and foremost, there is no right or wrong way to react to this weird ass situation. As far as watching Luke actually just say it, I will admit I laughed. I laughed long and I laughed hard, imagining this 80s dad bod should be wearing a fanny pack boy just slip it out. Just a little N-word. Just slips out and it's so weird. It's just something I've never seen before. So yeah, I'm glad he's gone. He broke the rules and now he's out. I feel like that was appropriate. The edit's weird. The show's weird. They're never gonna show us everything that we want in the way we want it. But yeah, I think having Corey kind of be that person that's like, this was very wrong and I did not feel appropriately about this. And also having Jared, who was there, share his experience of, I don't want him to be defined by this. I didn't want to be defined by this. We're playing a game. It all makes sense to me.
Just watching it, like my experience with the feeds. I mean, it's basically the same thing with you guys. That I wasn't wrong with it. Like, remove this guy. It seemed like they were kind of going back and forth on like if they wanted to do it at first, because usually. If they really wanted to do something, they would have cut the feeds immediately. If they didn't do that, like we're just kind of waiting around. But the show, the episode itself was kind of alarming because I think the way they edited was just very confusing. At first, it seemed like, I mean, obviously, uh, not a part of their plan, so they had to like probably cut segments out to put there. That's whatever. But it seemed like, they just wanted to get the word out and then just be done with it because, it just started making headlines, I just, okay, like they bleeped out the word. I know that was like an issue for some people. I personally didn't care about that portion of it because, okay, it was the aftermath where, first of all, the way they're editing it and they're showing Heisem, and Heisem's like, I didn't hear anything. Yes, you did. Don't lie. But he definitely, he had a conversation about it. He left the room because of it. Heisem definitely heard it. I thought that was a little strange. And then on top of that, it was just kind of like the abrupt nature of it where we kind of leave with this awkward segment, and I feel like it was edited to a point where it showed like Jared didn't want to speak about certain things in a group setting. That's fine, that's whatever, but we didn't get to see how the other black people felt. We didn't get to see how the other house guests felt. We saw a lot of reactions, and to me, this is kind of like almost like injustice in my opinion, as not just like a black person, but just like as a fan of Big Brother, because at the end of the day, it is a social experiment. You're supposed to see everything, the good, the bad, and ugly, and it seems like ever since BB15 happened, they kind of like afraid to have these types of things. We had this situation, Big Brother All Stars 22, when there was a wall yeller, and Davon and all them found out about the Franzel situation, and then feeds got cut off for a day. We don't hear anything about it, and then we're expected to move on. That's crazy to me that like you guys are just erasing history at this point and then just like promoting 24-hour live feeds. We saw this also in like a different way last year with the Michael exposing Kyle thing, and they just completely didn't put the feeds on that room so they can control the narrative. And then here they completely erase a day and you're just like expected to just like forget about it. It's very strange to me. I definitely feel some type of way about it. And leave it to Big Brother to just kind of like ruin a really big moment, because I feel like they were getting a lot of praise for getting rid of Luke. I think that they were getting a lot of credit, and that credit just went out the window like that. Not good whatsoever. So Big Brother definitely needs to fix some stuff. But what are you gonna do?
I mean, to your point about it being a social experiment, like that's the whole point. Like these things affect the gameplay. You're taking a microcosm of America. You're putting all these different house guests into place, and these aspects impact the game. And even now, like with the live feeds, someone started talking about Luke. I'm forgetting who it was. In like the backyard hammock. So someone started talking about Luke, and they immediately cut like the feeds. Like they like glitched out, and then they like cut it, and they put that like "we'll be back" or whatever title card, and it was just like, this is a part of the game. Like we went from a point where people were actively trying to get Luke to be on their side for numbers, and I'm sure a lot of people had to repivot. I'm sure those conversations about how people felt about the whole situation itself had an impact on the game, and I think it's a shame. Even now, like I think Heisem was talking to America, and she was like, he was like, I don't want a brown on brown crime like that happens in America, and he started talking about some of the reactions after 9/11, which are things that impact Heisem's values and the way he is playing this week. And they were like cutting it, moving it around, switching cams. And I was just like, these are elements of the game. How do you want a social experiment and not show the social aspect of it, the social, historical elements that impact the game and shape the game for these viewers who are playing themselves, and how they're balancing their values versus the wanting to win. Like that's the whole point. And that's why I think this game is so fun and interesting, is that main purpose. That's the reason why I fell in love with the show. So it's just kind of annoying that it's like, it's not even just this Luke situation. It's just like they're trying to remove an aspect of the game that makes the game what it is. So it's just like, what's the point then?
Right. And
I mean, this is a tell.
Go ahead, sure.
I mean, I feel like you guys are getting a little crazy with it. It's a television show. If it was a social experiment, would there be money? Would there be twists? Would there be, it's like XYZ. This isn't like Under the Dome where we're just watching people freelance survival. It's a TV show. I mean, like, what would you, if I remember from last year, there were like 3 really heavy episodes with Kyle. And I can definitely imagine them being like, we don't need to do this again. We don't need Big Brother to be associated with race relations. And I can see that. I mean, what do you really want from the Luke episode? Like, what do you think was missing?
So here's my thing, because I'm in one of the pools where I'm like, the show doesn't really do it for me anymore. I still watch it. But the whole point of the show, if you want to have like the watered down controlled narrative version, perfectly fine, in my opinion. That's what the show is for. I think the problem is stemmed from the 24/7 version of the live feeds, because Big Brother is also as much of a show as also the live feeds portion, right? Especially when you're spending the entire off season like kind of dunking on BB Can for getting rid of their feeds. We're getting feeds, but like at like what cost? You know what I'm saying? People are paying for this stuff. Also, it's just like if we're not going to see everything in the show, show me everything in the feeds. I think most of the people aren't even mad about the shows. Well, they're mad about the shows but it's really being stemmed because they decided to cut live feeds off that. They've been advertising at the end of every single episode 24/7. You're never going to miss anything. They're promoting this stuff all day, every day. I pay for this stuff just to watch a screen saying, make sure you tune into the episode tonight to see everything. We get 5 seconds of the conversation, then we just don't see anything else. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're going to water down the show, okay, you guys water down the show every year. I don't even care anymore. But let me at least see what's really going on the feed side so I don't feel like I'm being blindsided, because you're hyping me up every single moment, telling us, oh, we're going to break everything down on the show. This, and that's going to happen. They're setting themselves up for like failure at this point. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you don't have to change the show if that's not your prerogative. You want to keep it this campy, happy-go-lucky, there's no problems whatsoever. Keep it that way, but don't promote live feeds if that's not your prerogative. Be Survivor if you want to do that. Don't have live feeds at all. I said this about BB Can when they did feed bites, and I was like, all right, don't give me this if you're not going to show me everything. Just like leave it alone and just edit and show me what you want, because this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's more so, you know, I'm not into censorship when you're expecting me to pay money for uncut raw footage, if that makes any sense. But it also just feels a little weird when, you know, it feels like you're trying to hide something, but that's just me. But that's all.
To address your point about like it just being a television show, I 100% get that. There's so many TV shows under the sun, but the way they originally pitched the show and how it's evolved has evolved, like the microcosm of America and blah blah blah, and the way they cast people, they do the way they do things that they do. And now we're also seeing this era where we're having these actual conversations about like religion. I think a few episodes ago we were talking about Jags. I believe he's Sikh. I could be wrong, but those are things that we're talking about in the game. And that is being aired. So obviously, like Survivor, the human aspect, the human story is a part of the show. And some people aren't even about that. Like some people just want the strategy and stuff like that. Like if I could have a season where people are just being strategic and funny and fun without a slick racism or microaggression, I would take it all day. But unfortunately, like it comes with the territory, and that's why I'm saying like, if you're gonna be about it, be about it. Like, don't give me this like half-assed like crap for part of my French. But like, that's what I mean. I think that's where I'm frustrated, because it's like we don't need 3 episodes. We don't need even a episode. A segment is fine. Like I said, I could have had the text just being like, Luke was removed from the house for behavior that we don't rock with or whatever. We don't condemn this behavior, blah blah blah. Kind of like what they do in the live feeds when you see that countdown in the corner that's like, anything that you see from the house guest, blah 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 blah. CBS doesn't like agree point of view, it's just house guest. I'm okay with that. But again, if you're gonna be about it, be about it. And I think that was just like a lot too much pandering for too many groups. Like, condemn it, don't condemn it, pick one, stay in your lane, and we can move on.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of you. With the live feeds and how they're halfway, what I said is, what do you want to add to the episode?
I'm not looking for anything other than what's the aftermath looking like. You get what I'm saying? Like, even if they're showing that next episode, because like if they're it's just like, if you guys are like cutting the feeds every time someone brings up Luke's name, it's like, all right, like, you know what I'm saying? It just feels a little grimy. That's all, man. But like,
I feel like they're just trying to erase him. Like, he's not even on the board. I'm not saying erase Luke. Don't get me wrong. This is the anti-Luke train. I've been about it since the preseason. My tweets, you can look at my tweets and you can look at the preseason draft, okay? I've been anti-Luke from jump. But I just feel like he was a part of the game. Like, things happened and we got a whole day of race. I know Izzy would have went off. Apparently Cameron and Izzy got into an argument and we missed all of that for what? For what?
Yeah.
For what? Yeah. I would have been sad. I want
to know what Serene and Felicia were saying, man. Like, and Nicole, like
and me. Yeah.
Like, come on.
We missed so much good content for what? Like, It
And
happened.
now,
It
Yeah.
happened.
and now it's like the next day I'm trying to figure out, all right, what is Izzy referencing to some argument that she had with Cameron because of it? Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
We missed so much
But
insight. Like they almost flipped the vote for Kirsten to stay. Why did we remove the
yeah,
feed? For what?
yeah,
For what?
I
He
don't
got
know.
removed and what? Like that wasn't a surprise. You wrote it on Twitter through Sharon from to my knowledge.
Maybe
I
if we're
thought through Sharon.
lucky, they'll touch up on it. But who knows? Listen, there's a lot going on, but outside of that, there's a whole lot of other stuff going on. So, RIP Luke. It is what it is. I hope the cheese is good. We're gonna move on. I'm dead. Natalie, why aren't you not a part of the set? Tell Bryce, ask Bryce, go at Bryce Isaiah on Twitter
That's
and
the
ask
thing. I thought
him.
that was a joke.
No, Bryce
Oh, it's very
actually
hot.
he sells a calendar. Yeah,
What? I have to
go
see
at
this.
Bryce Isaiah and say why is Isaiah not on this if it's high in demand. But
That's so
um, so there's a whole lot going on. Just to speed run through last week, we had, and I have the chart of people right next to me. So we had Riley as our HOH. Basically, there was a whole entire competition where like if you lose, you're on the block. Ultimately, Riley decided to save Jared and Corey, leaving Felicia and Kirsten on the block. Now, obviously, the Luke situation happened. Whatever. Heisem won veto. Heisem didn't use it, and then we saw Kirsten go home. We don't know what happened due to the fees being cut, but we already knew that Kirsten was kind of an outlier. So Kirsten definitely left. Seeing Kirsten's extra questions, it feels like really recruit energy. I don't think she really understood what was going on. Seems very nice, but like there were some people really upset that like Kirsten left, and like I get it, like, but we had our Taylor moment. I feel you, but like this cast is not BB24, right? Like this cast is very interesting. There's a lot of gamers in here, and I think that it almost would it was shout out Naomi. I think it would have been almost like a disservice to this cast who've been like killing it this week to like stay in the house, integrating themselves in the strategy and alliances, like for all that to like go away to like sacrifice Felicia, who's been playing this week correctly. No, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not sacrificing Felicia for Kirsten, So
yeah.
yeah. And I see Joseph. We were supposed to interview Kirsten on Monday. We don't know when we're doing it now. We're waiting for the reschedule. But yeah, I'm not going to sacrifice Kirsten for Felicia. It sucks. I'm sorry that she was like out there, but she did play the first few hours pretty wild. Like I can't blame anyone else but her, guys. Like, to being honest, she made too many alliances. Don't make a Black Women's Alliance if you're gonna be making alliances with everyone else. That's how I feel about it. There's a huge reason why girl alliances don't work in these shows, specifically Big Brother, and it's because there's always that one person who does too much, always doing too much. But do we have any final thoughts about Kirsten before we move on?
Do y'all think she's coming back?
No,
No.
they already
No.
told her about Jared and Suri. It's done.
Yeah, that's the whole gag
Oh,
of
yeah.
the season.
Yeah,
That's the whole gag of the season.
Yeah.
She's not coming back. In terms of my perspective, I feel like the edit really kind of did Kirsten a disservice. Not to say that like I how can I say this in a way? I just feel like they didn't show the fact that she was doing a lot. And so then when we get these exit questions where she's like, I feel betrayed by Suri. But it's like, do you understand the levels to this? Like there's
Josie froze. How about you, Cheyenne? How you feeling about her? So while we're waiting for Josie
Yeah.
to come back.
I was like, is my computer malfunctioning again? But from an episode point of view, I didn't know who Kirsten was. If I didn't watch you guys' podcast updates or up on the Twitter streets, I would not have cared a lick of a bit about her. And Bowie. I'm like,
Right.
who's Bowie again?
I feel that. I feel that. Naomi in the chat says, "Who do you guys think Felicia is doing better in previous older first boots?" She's doing better than all of them. We're just going to be honest. But not a lot of people who are, like, shout out to the older players in the season. They're doing pretty good. I'm liking this older versus younger crowd going on here, but I think Felicia's doing better than like all of them. Glenn, Steve, all of them. So that's how I feel about it.
Donnie?
Well, Donnie wasn't a first boot.
Oh, well, he's not a first boot. Well, neither is Felicia.
Well, if she was, that's what she was saying. If she was the first
Oh,
boot, you feel what I'm saying?
my bad.
But it's okay. It's okay. But here's another thing that I was really confused about. Because we obviously missed a lot with Cameron. What's going on with Cameron? I got some red flags with Cameron. My co-hosts keep dropping, y'all. Stick with me. I'm with the chat right now because my co-host got issues with the Wi-Fi. Both of my co-hosts are bad with the Wi-Fi. Katie, I need you next time. But no, it's I'm about to say, but it's a lot. It's a lot going on right now with Cameron. I feel very iffy about Cameron, if you get what I'm saying. Right now, he's a chaotic president, so I don't mind Cameron's chaos. It's a little bit. But the problem here is that, like, obviously he's making comments like, "Oh, I'm gonna hit you." Like, if we were in this house, I would hit you. What else is he doing? Like, he's obviously a part of the handful, and then apparently he's throwing the handful under the bus, and then now it's just like this entire thing. Cheyenne, are you caught up with the Cameron saga right now, if anything?
I am caught up. He is a freaking maniac and not in a good way at all. Like he's burning his own bridge and lighting firecrackers for everyone else as he crosses it. And I feel like he's also growing like throwing grenades to the other side so that he can fuck that up once he gets to there too.
Right. I'm actually going to put a graphic of the cast on the BB CBS website for anyone who doesn't know names by faces yet. But yeah, Cameron right here, moped. It's just like I'm really confused with like what his plan is here. It feels a little chaotic. Going into this week, I'm pretty sure because spoiler alert, but we have a new HOH. It is Heisem. Heisem right now is pretty much on a mission. I think he's putting up Cameron as a second option. If who's the main person he's coming after? Matt's the third option. Cameron. Who am I missing? It's literally one person. It'll come to me. It might be. It's not Corey. It'll come to me. But basically, right now, Cameron and Matt. Those are like right now public enemy number 1 and 2. I think it might be Jag too. I gotta look at that. But yes.
Isn't it Riley?
Right now, Riley. Thank you. It is Riley, Cameron, and Riley, Cameron. Oh my god, I'm so bad. Riley, Cameron, and Matt. Those are the people that he's looking at right now. I think for Cameron, this is a little bit of a misstep because Riley, I get it. She won HOH. You allegedly heard your name from her mouth. But the thing is, she's right now kind of like a gullible person. She's very emotional. I feel like the last person to speak with her for anything is definitely the person that she's going to listen to. She's really gravitating towards Sari and all these other people. And I feel like China's coming back. I feel like right now, out of everybody that's available to be taken out, she's like the least of a threat out of all of them. Where if you're looking at like a Cameron, which we're seeing a lot of people push for, he's also not as scary to me. I think Cameron is a snake. He needs to be dealt with, but I think Cameron is just like not as much of a threat as people think. He doesn't have much power outside of Red right now. So in my opinion, this will lead me to look at Jag and Matt. I feel like they could possibly win some comps. Jag obviously has a mind. I'm not going to say a great mind, but he has a mind for the game. And Matt seems like he could possibly win some comps. Shout out Matt, by the way. CBS accommodate this man because that was ugly. But Cheyenne, out of everyone available, who would you think is the correct move for Heisem's first HOH?
Riley, 100%.
Okay.
She beat him in the HOH competition. Easy way to get someone out. She just offended Izzy, and that's reason enough. Boom, Izzy doesn't like you. You're gone, girl. You won HOH, and if you win again, you might put me up. See ya.
And I feel you, but I just also feel like with this many people, I'm just looking at if your main goal, as he's speaking, is to really decimate the handful as a group. I'm just like, maybe we want to wait and she's not really in a power position. I'm looking at Jag and I'm looking at Matt. Matt, not in the power position, but like the guy is built. I'm just saying, like I feel like he's gonna win some stuff. I'm looking in the comments. So from Cerie's perspective, boot Cameron, keep Riley in your good graces. Now, the thing with that, because we're seeing Mimi, we're seeing Cerie, and we're seeing Izzy really kind of push for Cameron to go. That's fine. But I feel like this guy, one, is going to cater to whatever side has the power. If you're in power, he's going to stick with you. So that's one. Two, this guy is a walking time bomb. I think he's willing to expose everything with the handful at all points of the day. And three, he's annoying. I think a lot of people find this guy annoying, and they're not going to let him stick around for much longer. So it's like, let someone else do the dirty work,
So who is it? Drop the name, Isaiah. Drop the name.
Of what? Who to take out?
Who should he be taking out? Yes. Who should
We
he be
should be
taking out?
taking out Jag, this guy right here, because Jag right now, even though he's not all in the know, is the heart and soul of the handful, which is pretty decimating pretty fast. But if you're looking at the group, Jag right now is in the middle of the core of the handful, which is him, Blue, and Riley. And we've seen both Blue and Riley say they want a final two with this guy. This guy right now is like the head of the group. I think that whatever Jag says might go. But until he takes a leadership role, I don't think, he's going to be running anything. But I just think that Jag is the person to look at. Looking
I
in the chat.
disagree.
Now there, so I don't know if you know this, and hopefully Josie comes back because she watches feeds way more than me. There is something about the Nether region. Jared is in there, and there was something allegedly. Don't quote me because I don't remember. They were saying that Jared had the ability to basically save someone and give them immunity, not me, but like exempt them from being nominated. And I think he chose Jag. Not 100% on that. Someone's going to have to school me on that because I just got home from work. But I'm speaking from the perspective that he isn't safe. So, like I said, I'm not 100% yet. But if it were me and everyone was available, Jag. If Jag is immune, like Naomi saying, the next best opportunity for Heisen to take a shot at someone, to me, is Matt. I think Matt definitely looks like a guy who's going to win some comps. Maybe this is just me being egotistical. I'm just not threatened by Cameron whatsoever. I think this guy is just psycho, and I'm not worrying about Corey. I'm not worrying about like girls like America. Blue, maybe, but I don't think people are looking at Blue right now. I think he wants to take out one of these guys, So
I mean, so if I'm thinking from Hisam's perspective, like obviously
okay,
as a person, if I were to walk into the game as him, well, honestly, I'd go for Suri.
okay,
But if I'm looking from his current perspective, Cameron's already fucked over this other side.
chill.
None of those guys like Matt or Corey, I don't think he finds those people threatening. I think he would feel like Riley has the most high chance of putting him up and followed by Blue. So
Okay.
that's probably who I would choose to go up from his vantage point.
And the argument's not wrong because it's also, if you're looking at it from a house perspective, Heisen right now has won 2 competitions and there's only been 4 this season. So this guy obviously is going to be winning some stuff. The moment he doesn't win something, and if the other side's in power, they're going to take a shot at him, right? And there's definitely, obviously, if you're Heisem, you want to take out any comp threats possible. Right now, history showing that she's the next best comp piece. So I get it. Trust and believe I get it. But I don't know. I'm just like, I'm being a little
I just don't think
biased.
he's threatened by these men. Unfortunately, I just, I think the misogyny runs deep, even if you're gay.
All right. Welcome back, Josie. But while we're here, since we're done talking about the handful, I say we talk about the other side, the professors or the bye bye bitches or whatever she's loyal to. Let's talk about Cerie's side, which has Cerie, Felicia, to an extent, Jared, but not fully. Izzy's there, Mimi's there. A lot of these people are there. Red's there by extension. Bowie's there by extension. Like right now, it's all over the place. But the main core is definitely Cerie, Felicia, Izzy, Jared, from my perspective. And then, there's subgroups of Mimi and Bowie. How are we feeling, Josie, from your perspective of Cerie's side?
I think there are cracks, for sure. I don't think they're as much as they want to talk about being a solidified bond. There's mistrust. We've heard a few times on feed that they don't trust Bowie, here and there, and then there's also a little bit of mistrust with Red. So right now, I think they're setting themselves up to go further. I feel like Heisem and Izzy are mainly taking the heat, even though they're actively, technically, 7 people / Jared, who makes 8, taking part in the dismantling of the other side. So ultimately, I personally find them entertaining. I'm rooting more for that side than the other side. So I think there are people in the alliance who are better placed for the future than others. But every alliance is like that, you know what I mean? So
Right. I agree with you. Like, here's something that yesterday's elimination showed me, and this is, I guess, instead of the entire group, more so centered on Cerie. Cerie right now is playing pretty good. I think she has a lot of bonds. I think she has a lot of opportunities. That's beautiful. Yeah, and you guys can tell me if you think I'm wrong. I think Cerie is going to make jury first and foremost, which is cool.
yeah.
I don't see her getting pre-jury unless someone wants to make a bold move like Corey or something. My worry for Cerie is kind of stemmed because of Kirsten. I think she showed last night, and we kind of saw this in the traders as well. I think Cerie's game is really suited for Survivor because those people usually tend to like respect the better game, and at times in Big Brother we have that too, but. I'm really feeling like we're going to have a Cerie moment that's just like Dan from BB14. I think we're set up for one of the most bitter juries of Big Brother history, potentially, if Cerie gets there, because obviously Cerie's going to want to sit with her son. I know she's a savage. She cuts people. I have a very hard time seeing her cutting Jared. So that means at some point after the entire handful is dealt with, she's going to have to cut Felicia, which is not good. So she got to cut Felicia. She's going to have to cut her super fan in the house, Izzy, and then she's going to also have to cut every other person like Mimi and Bowie and all these people. It's scary. I'm just saying, I feel like these people are going to feel some type of way unless they feel like they are not betrayed. Now, Izzy is setting herself up for failure, first and foremost. She knows what's finna happen, so it's okay. But Felicia, I wonder how she's going to feel. I wonder how Mimi's going to feel, especially if Jared doesn't get to the end. Is Cerie going to sit next to these people? I don't know. Like she's very adaptable. I just know that Cerie plays dirty, and I'm just wondering, is this going to end up like Paul? Is it going to end up like Dan, Tyler? I've seen masterminds go to the end of this game and piss everybody off to the point that people don't want to vote them. So, am I crazy, or like is this correct? What do you guys think?
Yeah, you're crazy. There's a lot of factors into your point. I don't know if me and Shine will have the same ones, but oh goodness, am I frozen again?
No, you're fine.
Hello. Okay. There's a few factors for me. The first being that Kirsten was a little delusional. No offense to her, but Kirsten thinks she did nothing wrong this week. Like when people try to explain to her, like this is what you did, Like she made an alliance for with black women pitching black women solidarity and then proceeded to betray them. So obviously they're not going to have your backs. Like, hello? Second of all, when people find out that Jared's her son, they're going to have empathy, especially the people in her alliance. A lot of them know what it's like to be a parent. A lot of them know what it's like to have someone you really care about. And I imagine a lot of people put themselves in her shoes. And third of all, she doesn't technically have to do the moves directly herself. She can do them indirectly and get the same result.
How about you, Cheyenne? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. I think that Suri, after watching her play what, like 4 or 5 seasons of reality TV, she's shown again and again that she can do it. She can talk it into anyone. She can talk someone off the block. She can talk someone on the block. I think if she makes sure to take the right HOHs where there's clear targets, I don't think anyone would be surprised if she went for like a Bowie or a Cameron, Matt. I mean, I just can't see anyone being bitter, except for like Heisem, perhaps. Like Heisem is the only person I could imagine being bitter about Suri
Oh
not
my
taking him
god.
to the end.
Okay. And then, all right. So, last question. This is a counter question about Suri. Do you think she's going to be able to make it over the competition hump? Because it's very physical at the end of the game too for those final HOHs. Is she going to be able to pull that out?
I think she's gonna have people who are gonna carry her to the end at most. Like I think people are gonna think either, if they pitch the fact that she's already been on TV shows and whatever, like I think people are gonna underestimate her. And also, who's to say that the competitions are gonna
And Josie froze again. SMH. Anyway, how about
Yeah.
you, Cheyenne? Because we
I
just
was
lost Josie.
As you were saying that, I was like, oh man, with the running tutus or the bowling ball, with the ice, with OTEV, it would be very hard for her to get to the final three. That's very true. I think 100% she's going to make it to jury. Um, Corey willing. But yeah, I can't honestly say I can see her winning 3 major HOHs that are always here.
And I'm just to combat Josie's point, and fortunately she's not here to hear this. I feel like some of these people I'm going to give a little bit more credit to because, like, obviously, like we have Izzy out here, or like Felicia. Let's just say in some universe this season they just like steamroll into the end of this game, right? I just have faith in those two specifically, where they're like, look, I love Suri, played this whole game, but like I'm not going to lose to this person. I think Izzy specifically, first and foremost, there's two things I can see from Izzy. One, I can see Izzy potentially using this Jared Suri relationship as leverage against them at some point if they try to betray her. So that's one. Two, though, I think that Izzy is aware of the dangers of going to the end with these three. I don't think Izzy truly wants to go to the end with Serene and Jared. I think once we hit a jury phase and there's opportunities to like make end game plans and everyone's like, Serene's running this game, I can see Izzy turning up the gears and be like, I can't take her to the end. And then Felicia too. I feel like Felicia wouldn't, if it's up to Felicia, first and foremost, wouldn't take Suri to the end. Now, like I'm saying with Suri, Felicia has to actually get there first and foremost because the competition aspect. But I'm I'm giving this cast maybe a little too much credit because they feel like, even though none of them are like masterminds by any means as of right now, but like they're somewhat game savvy. There's a reason there's so many alliances in this game. That there's this cast is full of people who are, if not fans or super fans, they're aware and have basic knowledge of what comes with strategy in some fashion. So I am a little skeptical about like a steamroll. I don't see Sari like Paul Abram this. Like I don't think that it's
Mhm.
going to be like BB19 or anything. But I do see some adversity for Sari in the future. So I don't know. I'm very curious, but yeah.
I will. Yeah, I do think this will be a hell of a steamroll. Gonna be honest.
Wow.
I can't imagine Easy. The more time she's going to spend with Suri, the more time she's going to think, if it's not me, I hope it's her.
Okay.
I will think that Felicia
Felicia.
Felicia, my mom's name is Felicia, so I literally cannot, but I do think that she would be the first to say, I love Suri, but we're not going to win against her. And I
Right.
also think she'll go home before she gets her way.
Right. And I mean, just the last thing. I mean, even outside of the professors group and all that, and Blue, okay, like she was pretty lit the first few times, but I'm kind of falling off her. I think still, and I don't know if this is a hot take, and this is why I like you on the podcast, Cheyenne, because you challenge my thoughts. Corey, in my opinion, is the biggest threat right now. In my opinion, I think Corey is personally for me like right now like a front runner to win if anything because I've seen this story before. The nerd archetype is such a dangerous archetype in Big Brother and it doesn't make any sense. It's not even just Big Brother. We've seen this in Survivor too with people like Cochran and Fishback and stuff, but it just works. I think this is the type of person that you want to take out week 1, week 2, and if you let them slip by after that early stuff, like they just kind of like stay in a house for a very long time because you're always going to have people constantly making asses of themselves, winning too many comps, and all that other stuff. And Corey, at least as up to right now, has shown me like people are starting to kind of get used to his personality. Like there was like a lot of anti-Corey banter at first, but I think people are getting used to him. I think the way that he handled the convo with Luke, also, I think people kind of respected that. And I just think people like to be around him outside of like what Heisem, I guess. I can see Corey possibly doing some damage if he wins an HOH. He's very straightforward with Suri as well. He's like, Suri, you're a threat, but like I want to work with you. Like he knows how to talk to people. I think he's shown me that he's good at like negotiating, like how he got himself safety last week was really impressive. I just feel really good about Corey for some reason. I know it doesn't look so crystal clear now because it's so early, but I just feel like he's someone to watch out for. I've seen this with a couple of players before, and I just feel good about him. Am I crazy for that read though?
I'm not going to say you're crazy, but I definitely am going to say that I don't think you're right.
Okay.
I'm looking at 4 people who are willing to get Cameron out like right now. I mean, not
Mm-hmm.
Cameron, but Corey out right now
Corey,
today. Yeah, like I think Suri would do it for Felicia.
Felicia. Wait,
No.
Felicia.
Felicia, Hyam, Izzy. I don't think that Corey's got like as strong of a connection as we think he might. And honestly, just thinking about it now, I'm almost thinking maybe Blue could be a Paris. Like there is a chance for one of the girls who are on the wrong side initially to kind of coast towards the end, hook up with Suri on a real emotional level, and still get to like somehow drop her in the final 3. Like I can see a path for Blue, for Corey, and Suri. Yeah, I would say those 3
We'll
would
see.
be winnables.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Well, but those are some interesting reads. We'll see. But yeah, that's all I really have to say with like Moses Cast. Cheyenne, am I missing
Mhm.
anything, or are we good here?
Oh, I want to talk about so much.
What's up?
Did you notice on the eviction episode, Red was wearing a mesh tank top under overalls?
Yes,
Did
I
you see
did.
that?
Yeah, he's if you see him on the feeds, he's had some peculiar fashion statements, but do you Red? That's that if that's how he's dressing, that's how he's dressing.
It's like Red and Cameron are who I thought the other would be.
Exactly.
It's
It's
so crazy.
didn't expect it.
I was like, I prejudged Red, and I'm so sorry. It's crazy because I do consider myself like an advocate for minorities, and
Okay.
that includes gingers. Um,
You consider
so
gingers a minority?
well, they are. I mean, they are
No,
100%.
they aren't.
Yes.
Are they? I'm
Yeah. There's
searching
not
this
many
up.
redheads these days.
Hold on.
Another
Are
important for you to
gingers
think about.
minorities?
Bisexual men, thus definitely
Naturally occurring
minority.
red hair appears in the small minority. You know what? Get out of here. But is there anything else we want to talk about outside of red's hair in fashion sense, Cheyenne?
No. Thank you
Okay.
for inviting me on.
Of course, but all right, that's today's show, y'all. Unfortunately, Josie, she's having some internet problems, but we still had a really good show. So if you are interested, please make sure you follow all of our social media pages here at Silent Podcast. You can like, comment, and subscribe. The audio feed will be up on all of our audio stream platforms, so make sure you do it 5 stars. And if it's not 5, just wait until you hear something that you like, But shout out to y'all. Make sure you guys check out our Patreon, our Discord if you want to chat with us and all that fun stuff. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and put that bell notifications on. You can find Josie at JosieAnnXM. Her Twitter is in the bio. Like I said, unfortunately, her connection is messing up, but she will be back during the week with Katie as usual to talk about Big Brother live feeds. They'll also be back to talk about the Challenge USA. We're trying to do some stuff. I can't say too much, but make sure you're checking that out. And yeah, Cheyenne, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter. I'm only super active during Big Brother. Instagram, Cheyenne New with a K, as in I knew things because I am a know it all.
Shout out to your podcast too. I really enjoyed that.
Thanks. I'm still working on it. I don't know if I want to advertise. Yes, I do. I have a podcast. It's called The Variety Half Hour. It's fun. Random
All right.
topics and interviews.
All right. And like usual, you can find me at 8Ball Bangers on all social media platforms, talking Big Brother, like usual. If you haven't already, I posted my House Chops Big Brother 25 premiere party video with a bunch of interviews on the channel. So make sure you check that out. And you should join me and Lavina on Sunday to do our first Big Brother tier list podcast, which should be a very fun time. When CBS lets us know when we'll do our exit interviews as well, you can expect our first interview with Kristen, not Luke, but Kristen, sometime next week. But yes, until next time, have a good one. Bye.